ECOWAS countries are not the only ones affected by insecurity on the high sea. A maritime security and safety representative of the Economic Community of Central African States, Commander Loic Muduma, talks about what they're doing to secure the waters.
We noticed that the illegal activity at sea were increasing, and the head of state asked for the ECOWAS to start strategic studies. This was done in 2009, but during the year 2009, we reached a culminating point. It was the attacks of the presidential palace of Equatorial Guinea in Malabo. So the 24th of October 2009, we got the protocol signed. That was about to implement the strategy proposed by the ECOWAS. Once the protocol was signed, we were ready to work now. Knowing that the Zone D was very hot and very dangerous, we started the operation in Zone D before the protocol with a technical agreement. This was the only solution we had at that time. What I can say about the protocol is that this protocol has some important points. The most important is that the security mission at sea is a sovereign prerogative of states with the community. The head of state in ECOWAS, they refuse to have any single private company securing our vital interest at sea. The other thing important in that protocol is that we created the crest mark, what Moabel was talking previously. It's a ECOWAS Maritime Coordination Cooperation Center, which is in Pointe Noire. And the building is ready. We think we are going to start the regional operation by August. The most important thing we have also in this protocol is the funding mechanism. The head of state agreed to create a maritime fund based on the contribution of countries, all actors at sea. So it has been agreed by the country. What is the status of this mechanism now? Right now, we just face these funding issues because we work on the protocol itself, but we didn't determine very well how the mechanism should work. Now, everything has been set up, and we are waiting for the head of state summit in order to start the fundings. But some countries are already contributing, like Congo, Gabon, Cameroon, and Equatorial Guinea, contributing to the regional mechanism. In terms of priorities of ECOWAS, obviously the priority of ECOWAS is to see how to implement the 6 pillars, because the strategy is around 6 pillars. The first one is the information sharing process. We have started sharing information because we started this operation with the Maritime Coordination Center in Douala. So I can say that between Cameroon, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, and Sao Tome and Principe, we do share information. And this is why this operation is doing very well over there. And also, the second pillar is how to establish the research, collect, and sharing and the management of this information among states. This one will be the next step, and we think that this will be the role of those who will be implementing the crest mark itself. The other pillar I want to talk here about, because I heard many questions raised in the morning, is about the harmonization of action state at sea. If, like Nigeria, I heard about Nigeria, they have several agencies about maritime security or safety. It doesn't work. Just because you need to have a single agency with inter-agencies, civil military units working in order to really take it. Because what we have noticed in ECOWAS is that the money is entering through another agency, but this is the Navy who needs this money in order to buy, to refuel, and go back at sea. If you don't have all these agencies working together, it will never work. The Navy can have the good asset. If they don't see this money coming and going back in order to secure, it will never work. And also, Also, the biggest issue we have been facing, the maritime culture. We have been through all ECAS countries. We don't have a maritime culture. I don't want to say at the highest level to the lowest, but unfortunately, we don't have maritime culture. This is the reason why we want to create a maritime conference within ECAS country in order to get our highest decision makers to get this maritime culture. And this is mostly the 6 pillars we selected in ECAS, but you know we might have others that can be taken into account. Now let's talk about the solution. There are so many solutions, so we don't have time to talk about all these solutions. But the most important we see is the reform. All African countries need to reform the maritime sector. By reforming the maritime sector will bring us probably to determine some functions, some maritime function. And the first one we foresee is maritime governance. The second one will be the Civil and Criminal Maritime Authority, the Maritime Safety and Maritime Security, the Maritime Response and Recovery, and the Maritime Economy. I think 6 functions might be too wide, but we can take only 2, the Maritime Governance and the Maritime Economy. Like the Commodore said in the morning, the Navy cannot have enough budget if people, the Minister of Finance, if you tell them that we need to refuel the ship, refueling one ship is 2,000, something like 2,100 liters of diesel. But if you tell this to the Ministry of Defense, especially when they are from Army, I'm sorry whether they are some officer from Army, they will think about refueling a tank. So this is a very big deal for the Navy guys, we as Navy guys. So we need to work on the reforms. We need to train our higher decision makers in how to launch the reform in our countries. By launching the reform, we'll see that we can create more jobs with the maritime domain. Like in Gabon, for example, now, we can no more export a lot about these functions. Some solution can come at the regional level. When we started the Zone D, Cameroon had boats, Guinea, Gabon, and Sao Tome. But they were not doing nothing for their countries. But when it's come to talk about the regional issue, they brought the ships, they brought the fuel, and now we are working. So I think the regional solution is the best because of leadership of our head of state. If you look and see the case of Nigeria and Benin, now Benin has bought, I think, 3 fast patrol boats from France. They are doing very well. It's just because they saw that during the Operation Prosperity, they may be lacking at that time some assets. So this is the kind of exercise head of state to acquire some very good assets in order to tackle these issues. We have a lot of examples like that. And the other thing that's very important is to work with those who are using the maritime domain, the oil makers, oil companies. Right now in ECAS, we are preparing a meeting for oil companies. They are agreed to finance, they are ready to contribute in our operation. Even if they are paying taxes to the country, but they say, okay, there are some issue at sea, they are ready to contribute. I'm just giving some solution like. And what can we ask for partners? What ECAS is doing with France is any single French ship coming, sailing into our waters, has to give his coordinate to the Maritime Coordination Center in Douala, and the whole time they will spend in our water, they used to exchange information with this Maritime Center. Is the way to work. And what can we do with the partners? They have the satellites. They have some photo satellites that can be used in order to determine to whom belongs the ship. The last time I went in Benin, they gave me some picture of this ship that was hijacked from Abidjan and brought back here. I have some picture. This kind of picture is very, very important. And we can determine who is doing what. Right now in South Tome and Principe, they have been prosecuting 2 ships that were they were being involved in side-to-side transshipment at sea. That's because they had some special help. This is what we can do with partners. And also, the case I heard this morning, the oil market. The oil market needs to be refined, like in Nigeria. Not only Nigeria, many countries, many coastal countries. In Central Africa, Gabon, Congo, or wherever, you cannot steal a huge amount of gas and go and sell it because there is the system to sell on the street doesn't exist, and it's prohibited. So I think some work can be done at that level and see how to refine this issue. Talking about the private company, if you want to take private company, give the ECAS the money and we'll do the job for you. Because we have done it, with this company, Luxent Alcatel. They were installing the optical fiber in our waters, and we secured them.
And that's our program this week. Thanks for watching. We'd like to hear from you. Send your comments to diplomaticchannel@channelstv.com, as well as the other addresses showing on your screen. I am Amarachi Ubani. Have a great week.